Okay, so we will create a leaf with some detail from an SVG file. I create the SVG file with Adobe Illustrator, but I think you can create the same way. Okay, I'm loading it. Here it is. So when it comes out of the box, it's not really usable. So the first thing to do is to make them 3D. At least this one. Yeah, we can do all 3D, and I will also suppress the cyclic option. Here it is, and then let's go here. So this cyclic, just click. I don't know how to do that for all the curves at once, but in this case it's not too annoying. Now I also have to edit that curve because I think there's still too many points here. These ones are fine, but this one maybe not useful, so I will dissolve. Okay, so I fix a bit here. This one definitely, yeah, there is even a trouble here, so I will dissolve that one. Dissolve. I scale and set handle type to align, because when they come out they are not aligned. So if you don't touch them, you don't need to do that, but if you want to manipulate them to adjust a bit, here for example I break it, so need to make them align again. Okay, looks good now. Then now I have I think a pretty acceptable curve here, plus these that I will use to create detail later on with using curve as well. So here I suppress I make it 3D because let's go back to 2D. The triangulation is not so good here. It can create trouble, and we don't need that actually. Let's say this one may be also a bit too near the border, and I don't need that, but it in this case we don't worry too much. So I want to create a little bevel here, so I will have a shape in the thickness of the leaf. To do this, I will duplicate it. I duplicate at the same place. Then after that I will create a kind of inset a border, let's say, that have some thickness. There is functions to create that automatically in Illustrator, but it actually modifies the curve. So for here we need that the curve is exactly the same, but as you see, it's not hard. It just creates some minute. It just needs some minute. It's very easy. In real life, if it's a logo, I might duplicate that and edit that in Illustrator, but in fact the edit to create curve is actually easier in Illustrator. But to edit the curve, it's actually easier in Blender. And you might not have Adobe Illustrator. This method will work with any SVG file, and you can use icons, logo, and so on. The bevel is a plus, but if you don't need a bevel, it will really work very fast. I will show you how to deal with a lot of the situation here. So now I have this object, this space here I will use. So I go to curve, then I simply join it. Oops. Okay, Control J, and it's joined. Okay, now it's one object only. And what I have to do also is to convert to mesh. Now, when I edit this object, I have two curves that are exactly the same. Okay, so now the next step is to create the polygons here. And I use for this the loop tools, which is easy to find plugin, or maybe even in the standard delivery of Blender. And then we need to select one line, then the other line, and then we loft. And then you see here we have a catastrophe. It's because it's set to reverse. Then I don't reverse it. Oh no, it's not here, it's here, sorry. Then I don't reverse. It looks a little better, but it's still a little strange. But if I put to 0, it works a bit better. This is actually the number of points to get the start point correct. And if I see here, I see that it is not correct. So I offset a bit the points, -2, and it seems that now we are good. Let's see. Yeah, we are definitely okay. Let's see one more. No. So it's -2. Okay. So this looks a bit strange, but it's actually okay. Is the way the curve is made. It's not mixed up. Okay, so you can do better by editing the curve beforehand, but I think this is already not that bad. What I want to also do is to edit a bit here, because I don't need these ones, and then I dissolve edge, and oops, I can also do this here if I think this one maybe not needed, maybe this one not needed, maybe this one. Dissolve. Yeah, there is no difference here, so I can check a bit more my object, dissolve edge, and it's pretty easy to fix. Okay. Anyway, this is up to you. Voilà. Now I have something that I think is pretty clean. Yes, maybe here a bit more. Okay, so now I want to have the top, and what I will do is that I will select the inside edge, the border, and I will fill it, and then now I have something inside. Okay, and then for this object I will just simply pull it up, G, Z, and I have a border. It might, no, I think it's fine. Oh no, I did something wrong here. I cannot do that. But what I can do, that will be the right, what I wanted is to directly make a bevel out of it, but I cannot. What I need to do is to add another line here inside. Okay, so you might want to make this larger. It depends what you want to do. But now what I can do is to oops, I need to be in edit. I can select these ones. So now I have one polygon here that will be aligned to that surface. So I will avoid artifacts later on for the shading. So G, Z, and now I have a little bevel. Okay? And I can make it bigger or smaller. G, Z. Let's make it a bit, let's say too much here. Okay, so now I have this. It's very important to keep this flat with the surface, so you will not have any trouble. The surface is flat here, and this will stay flat. Then after that, I can mirror this one. Let's say mirror, add modifier, mirror, and the axis will be Z. You see, now I have a complete object that I can use in whatever I want. And I also can make a shade smooth. I will change the shader with my up to white to make sure I can have the most difficult case for the shading. So we see that we have already something that is pretty nice. I'm sure you can see what you can do with this kind of stuff. And inside I don't have a triangulation, and if you use it like this, I don't think you need. In Blender you don't need. However, if you need to triangulate, then the Blender triangulation is pretty good. The one in the edit is much better than the curve one. So now, and anyway, I edit the stuff here to have a nice object. So I prefer to triangulate here. That's very easy, triangulate face, and you see it's much less crappy than the what we had before, because it's much cleverer. Now I can also remove many of the triangles, and of course you can if you want to have a flexible object, you can actually do a better how to say better topology inside. You can duplicate again that curve, and go more inside and triangulate or not. You might want to do that by hand and fill with more geometry inside, but that's another matter. If you want to change the topology here inside, it becomes easy to do what you want here, because I can get rid of many of the polygon here and connect differently, add one here and make some sort of topology that will allow me to animate this one and to move this one. But for what we want to do here, this surface will be good, because what I want to do later on, that's why I was thinking about that technique. It's because I want to use that to create a texture for a square object, so I can multiply this a lot. So this is just the goal of this. And until now, when I explain, it's a bit slow, but when I do, I can repeat that with many objects. It's quite fast. Then now we want to do something. So this I don't need. I want to do something with the other curves, these curves. And what I want to do is that I want to, first of all, I want to join them. Control J, okay? So it looks like a tree, and actually that's many add-on use this to make tree. They are doing it the same exact way as this, but they do it automatically. So it's of course 3D, and then I want to bevel it. Let's say 0, 0, 1. It's still too much. 0, 0, 0, 2. Voila. And then you start to see where I want to go. Here there is some thing I need to fix. Where is it? Okay, it's here. I need to make a full, so you have back, front, and half. But me, for this thing, I need full. Now I want to, because this is just a tube and it's too mechanical for now. But if I go to edit and I select, oops, yeah, okay. I select these points. Okay. Now I can Alt S. So I hit Alt S, and I will be able to change the thickness of the tip. And I will also use progressive selection, because I want these points to be influenced also. So Alt S, you see, but now I influence absolutely everything, but I can reduce the size of it. So now as you can see, the end is not influenced. So I reduce the size, I let a little gap. Okay, so now I have a little gap here, and I can actually, because now I know that my curve will be influenced the right way. I continue to Alt S, and then sorry, Alt S, and then I can reduce, just keep a little gap. Okay, so as you can see, now I have a nice nice way of editing the curve that will change along. I change the tip here, and then I will also want to make this a little thicker. So same technique, Alt S, and I will, increase the size of my influence. And this one I think is too big. Alt S. And here I decrease. So it's extremely precise. It's very funny to do that. And I think this is a little too thick. Alt S. Alt S. Voila. So now it's done. With curve, it's not a tutorial about curves. With curves, you can do a lot more than what I just did. Now you can change so many things. So I guess you can imagine a lot of things you want to do with this. Here I want to keep it flat, but of course nothing forbid you to use this to create trees and whatever. You can create a branch, you can add some detail, whatever. But I think you can see what you can do with this. You can close the gap or not. For my usage here, I don't need to close the gap. But I will display the previous curve, and then as you can see, I have my object that is like this now, and I want to edit a bit. G, okay. Okay. And maybe I will scale a bit this, scale Z, but not too much. And I think we are good to go. So here we have a leaf. I can of course make the top and the bottom different if I want, and then I can use it as an object. Again, you can imagine to make all sort of decoration or whatever. That I think this thing can have a lot of application. Start to make a design with curve, and then use your design to create any kind of complicated decoration, and then bake it later or use it directly. That's up to you. I guess that you can imagine what you want to do with this, and it will work pretty good for all sort of situation. And of course you can adjust here very easily. This is a very easy adjustable object. That's it.